Language is a fundamental way in which human beings interact and express themselves. It allows us to share our ideas, thoughts, and feelings effortlessly. For most people, language comprehension and articulation are automatic and require little effort. However, for others, it can be a difficult and frustrating process. Long ago, in the year 1861, a pioneering figure in neuropsychology, Paul Broca, made a groundbreaking discovery. He encountered a remarkable patient, Louis Victor Leborn, also known as Tan. Despite Tan's excellent language comprehension, a neurological condition left him with severely impaired speech. He could only utter the word Tan, usually repeated twice in quick succession. Although he struggled with speech, he was proficient in numerical communication, indicating time and years spent in the hospital using his fingers. Occasionally, when enraged, he could produce a singular swear word. After Tan's death, an autopsy revealed a lesion in his left frontal lobe, now known as Broca's area. This region is crucial for language production and speech articulation. Tan suffered from expressive aphasia, characterized by difficulties in speaking fluently. Expressive aphasia, also known as Broca's aphasia, is when a person understands speech but has difficulty speaking fluently. In the most severe cases, the patient is mute, while in milder forms, speech is slow and requires significant effort, often with repeated sentences. Additionally, patients may use paraphasias, substituting words with similar sounds or related meanings. For example, they might say apple instead of orange. Tan's case led to the discovery of cerebral localization, the idea that specific brain functions are specialized to certain regions, such as language being localized in the cerebral cortex. Fun fact, the brain of Leborn is currently housed at the Musée du Peutron Museum in Paris. A few years later, in 1873, another significant discovery was made by Carl Wernicke. He studied a patient who, after suffering a stroke, could speak fluently but had severe difficulties understanding spoken or written language. An autopsy revealed a lesion in the left temporal lobe, now known as Wernicke's area, responsible for language comprehension and understanding. Receptive aphasia is known as the difficulty understanding written and spoken language. It includes symptoms such as poor comprehension and difficulties with reading and writing. Speech may be fluent and grammatically correct, but can often be meaningless and irrelevant, including the use of paraphasias. For example, a person with receptive aphasia might say, "That's a frinkabrill," when the Costa has peen. Although the speech sounds fluent, the words do not form a coherent or meaningful sentence. Aphasia is caused when there's a breakdown of the two-way translation that links thought and language. This can be caused by a brain injury such as a stroke or severe head trauma. In these cases, symptoms usually develop immediately after the injury. Alternatively, aphasia may be caused by neurological disorders like dementia or a brain tumor, which cause gradual damage to the brain over time. Consequently, in these instances, symptoms tend to develop gradually. Patients with global aphasia struggle with both using words and understanding language. This condition is caused by damage to both Wernicke's and Broca's areas. Patients may be able to say a few words and understand some phrases, but they cannot follow commands or name objects. Now let's explore the differences between receptive and expressive aphasia. The key distinction lies in the brain regions affected. Expressive aphasia is linked to damage in Broca's area in the left frontal lobe, affecting speech production. In contrast, receptive aphasia is associated with damage in Wernicke's area in the left temporal lobe, impacting language comprehension. Additionally, individuals with receptive aphasia often lack awareness of their communication difficulties, leading to confusion and frustration when trying to communicate. Conversely, those with expressive aphasia are usually aware of their struggles, which can also be a source of frustration. How can we help those with these kinds of communication difficulties? Allow plenty of time to respond, as the pressure may cause anxiety, which will affect their ability to communicate. Use short, uncomplicated sentences and don't change the topic too quickly. If you don't understand, don't pretend to, as the person may find this patronising and upsetting. Use gestures. Draw pictures. Write down important pieces of information. By studying these conditions, early neuropsychologists like Broca and Wernicke paved the way for modern neuroscience, allowing us to better understand the complexities of language processing in the brain and the challenges faced by individuals with these conditions.